We explore a design space for hybrid bimanual pen and touch input extended to mid-air interaction in desktop-based virtual reality. We investigate asymmetric interaction patterns combining the pen with the other hand when interacting in the same space, surface or mid-air, across both spaces, and with cross-space transitions. To study how these interactions and associated gestures work in context, we create 3 testbed applications. We first demonstrate 2 interactions that are common to all applications. The first is palm rejection, which uses the position of the pen in midair to determine where the dominant hand is and reject touches from it upon contact with the tablet. In this sense, palm rejection is a form of midair to surface transition. The second technique is a reset action triggered by holding the pen between the palms of the 2 hands and rubbing them rapidly to spin the pen. The first application of our set is a modeler. Shapes drawn on the surface can be extruded along a path traced by the pen in midair to create 3D volumes. The other hand can be used to activate a grid with a 2-finger touch to draw shapes with straight segments. In midair, the grid changes to a 3D cube to perform constrained extrusions. A hand menu can be invoked to choose colors and spraying tools to spray paint volumes using the pen like a pointer. The other hand can hold an object to move and rotate it so that it can be painted on different sides, much like a real object. In addition to menu selection, the non-dominant hand can form a posture to enable a mode like erasing to delete objects in midair and on the surface. Classic manipulations of pen and touch interfaces can be transposed to midair. For instance, moving objects with one hand and duplicating them with a bimanual pin with the other hand and pen drag gesture. In midair, a volume designated by the other hand can be duplicated by pressing the pen button and dragging a copy to a new location. Finally, a volume grabbed in midair can be stamped on the surface to create a new shape from the intersection. This shape can then be used for new extrusions. The second application is an interactive volumetric renderer for cranial CT scans. The volume can be grabbed and moved about freely with the non-dominant hand, but the pen can also be used as an axis to constrain rotations. Cross-section slices of the volume data can be viewed on the surface by moving the non-dominant hand inside the volume. Slices can be temporarily locked by bending the thumb to allow annotations to be made on it with the pen. A second locking technique simply uses a pen tap on the side of the surface slice view, with the other hand then free to make adjustments. A midair color menu can be invoked by touching the surface with the palm of the dominant hand and tilting the pen forward to tap midair buttons. Cross-section slices inside the volume can be selected with the non-dominant hand and copies created by pressing the pen button. All slices can be directly selected and copied using only the pen. Both the pen and the other hand can then be used to pick and move copied slices in 3D space. The third application is a terrain editor. Here the touch surface is used like a trackpad, with 1 finger dragging to pan the camera, 2 fingers to rotate it, and 3 fingers to change the elevation. In midair, a fist posture of the non-dominant hand can be used to move and rotate the view, with repeated grab and release actions to clutch. Camera movement can be restricted to translations by extending the thumb. Terrain editing is performed by pressing the pen button and moving the pen in midair. Editing can be combined with navigation to add terrain elements across larger areas. For instance, larger and higher landscape features can be created when continuously pressing the pen button while simultaneously moving the camera with the non-dominant hand. To change the editing pattern, a marking menu can be displayed in the middle of the screen by tapping the surface with 4 fingers and dragging to mark and select the desired style. Alternatively, the menu can be invoked with bimanual techniques. In this case, the menu appears at the location of the pen tip in midair, with the pen used to select the menu item. Terrain elements can also be added with the pen directly on the surface for more precise editing. If the non-dominant hand is raised above the surface, its height is used to determine the elevation of the terrain feature. This, again, can be combined with navigation to allow large-scale editing.